All right, y'all, what's up? I actually have been watching Gen V. I just was not healed up enough, over September to really get into the reviews and reactions. But here I am. We're getting back to our regularly scheduled programming. We're going to pick up with the latest episode. Let's talk about some moments, some standout moments. I'm so excited to let you all know that Zoraxia, The Vengeance of Coldwind is out now. Anywhere you get your ebooks and audiobooks, you can find it there. I'm talking about Amazon, Audible, audiobooks.com, Google Play. It's all there. Also, you can go to www.zoraxia.com to purchase it directly from my site. Check out my series, check out the first book, and make sure you get the second book because it's out now. I'm so excited. All right, y'all. So the first moment is, of course, the beginning of the episode, the escape from Elmira. It was so insane. Well, first of all, Marie finally finding her sister and having to resurrect her because Cipher's a douchebag. That was already crazy. But this entire action sequence, I was watching Miss Mama's Annabeth. I was like, okay, so what are her powers? What's going on? Cause she over here acting like she tuning into the force or something. I'm just like, girl, what's the tea? What you got going on? What you got going on? And then when she led them through the restricted access area, I was like, okay, is she seeing through walls? What is her tea? And then they were like, Annabeth, you got us staring at a dead end at this wall right here. We got to go. People are coming. And then she gonna talk about oh, he's almost here. Maria was like, girl, who? Tory Lanez? If so, we really gotta run. Then we really got to go. But no, thankfully, it was not Tory Lanez. It was actually Superboy's Crazy Tethered. Here to save the day, even though he told Emma, I think, that he wasn't going to. So I was just like, oh, Annabeth, girl, she ain't playing. She got some V in her. What's going on? Okay, so for the second moment, let's talk about what happened in this van. I really thought it was very interesting because this is the first time we really got to see the sisters interact for real after their long separation, right? And I just have to say that the actress who plays Annabeth, I think her name is Kia King, she is eating this emotional role up. She's so talented. She's so talented. But yeah, first in the van, the crew talk about how Marie literally brought Annabeth back to life. Girl, no BS. You literally brought her back to life. Evanescence? Wake me up inside? Bring me to life? That's what you did. Then they talk about going to a different country, to Canada. And that's when Annabeth just loses it, right? I mean, rightfully so, girl. You were just dead. Rightfully so she loses it. Marie tries to calm her down, but she's just like, I need a moment, girl. You just came out of nowhere after already ruining my life one time. I was just dead, now I'm not. Now I'm going to a foreign country with a bunch of strangers. Please. I love when Emma said, well, Canada's not really a foreign country, essentially. And that really set off Annabeth. But here Marie's talking about, Annabeth, you're safe. I promise, you're safe. And Annabeth looked at her like Maddie looked at Cassie in Euphoria when she came in that bathroom dressed like Benson Boone. When Cassie came in that bathroom dressed like Benson Boone at a rodeo, Maddie said, B-word, you better be joking. That's exactly how Annabeth looked at Marie girl, you got to be kidding me. Safe where? All right, we're at moment 3. So if you don't want to hear a theory about what I think is going on, then skip over this part. But I mean, I'm sure many fans are already talking about this and figured this out already, right? But here, given what we found out at the end of this episode, I'm thinking that Gdolkin gave himself some power somehow, old Gdolkin, you know what I'm talking about? Gave himself some power somehow, or has some power, survived that fire barely, right? Then found some random white man at a PTA meeting named Cipher or whatever, controlled him with his telepathic powers to continue his long-standing mission, right? Because later in the episode, Stan Edgar going to say, oh, well, Cipher recreated Gdolkin's research exactly after the fire. And it's just like, how, girl? What are you talking about? How did that happen? On top of that, Gdolkin just wanted to control supers, right? He of course wanted control, and his powers, I feel if we're going to call him Gdolkin, Cipher Gdolkin, is a literal manifestation of that desire to control, right? But I don't know. I think maybe Gdolkin is in that chamber using telepathy to control Cipher, to maybe like what he's doing here, keeping his legs kind of not dying, working. I don't know, like just keeping things flowing, right? I actually thought we were going to see worse, because if the theory is correct, that means Gdolkin could use Cipher to take care of literally everything that he would do or could do by himself, if you know what I mean. And so, like, yeah, I think this is Gdolkin controlling Cipher, like living through him. So when Cipher is smacking this old guy in the chamber, it could actually be Gdolkin smacking himself, like beating himself up because he got the news that Marie and the crew broke out of Elmira. Now, all this might be a really, really bad reach, but like, it could be it. Also, earlier in the season, you remember when Andre's dad went to go clumsily confront Cipher, right? And Cipher stabbed himself with the knife that Andre's dad, that Polarity was threatening Cipher with, remember? And he didn't even flinch, like he didn't feel anything. It just adds more evidence to this theory here. So let me know what y'all think. Real quick. This don't really count as a moment, but real quick. Jordan has been making me mad this season, because first they were shaming Marie for escaping the plantation in the first episode of this season, and then now you're acting, Jordan, like just because none of y'all are seeing her power levels, that, oh my gosh, everything's changing and I hope she don't turn out to be a monster. Girl, please. Jordan was annoying me. All right, moment 4. Again, the acting in this scene from both these actresses was just impeccable. So the sisters here have a really rough talk, right? But one of the main things to draw from this, besides how disappointed Marie is because Annabeth is, angry, and she's been looking for her for how many years to try and like make sure she's safe and explain her side and but she's angry. But one of the main points we can really draw from this scene is how much Annabeth really hates herself, right? Like, clearly Pam and the people around her or whatever were putting ideas in her head about how Marie and soups in general, I guess, well, soups are dangerous, but all soups are dangerous and nasty. I mean, I can imagine what they were saying to Annabeth, like, look at what she did to your parents and she got power, she a soup. Like, she's getting all that. And then Annabeth ends up finding out that she's a soup herself. Because we find out in the scene that she's a precog. So all that is fertile grounds for self-hate. You see what I'm saying? Like, fertile grounds. But yeah, I think during this episode, we see how what Annabeth's taught about soups and what she believes about herself, and thus by proxy what she believes about Marie, we see how much that clashes with what she actually feels, what she's actually feeling from Marie, what she actually seeing and knows about Marie. Because literally in one of the next scenes, she's helping her sister calm down. Marie's helping her sister calm down from an anxiety attack. And it's genuine, like it's a genuine moment. So you can see how these different factors are clashing, especially in Annabeth's character. All right, so we're moving on to moment 5. When the stupid effing Viking, as Marie called him, gets his head eaten by Zoe. And I was gagged because I was like, wait, hold on. Those, I recognize those powers, the snaky, wait, hold on. And then Esposito showed up. I was like, girl, wait a minute. Stan Edgar's here, okay? I like when, let me just say this. I like when a cameo is actually a cameo, by the way, and we don't know 2 years before the production comes out who's going to be in it. And they do press runs, fake dodging questions, acting like they aren't going to be in a movie or show or whatever. I like when cameos are cameos, no shade, but yeah, and just take that for however you want to. You know who I'm talking about. But yeah, Stan Edgar's here and was like, yo, Victoria Newman told me about you, my sister Marie, let's regroup at my place. And so at the bunker, they're all putting it together that the man in Cipher's house is likely not his father. Stan says if Thomas Gdolkin is still alive, then the answer to controlling Cipher, to controlling all soups, could be inside his head. And of course, it makes sense that Stan is approaching all this from the angle of wanting to retake control of Vought, because, like, of course. Of course. So the sixth moment. So this whole time we know that Cipher had been controlling Andre's dad to get info on where Marie was, right? Like literally forcing him to make and take phone calls, forcing him to hit himself. I'm just like, okay, if I was Polarity, I'd be like, bro, do I need to call you Massa? Get out of my brain, bro. Are you serious? But it's here we find out that this crazy guy wants to reduce the student population of Gaju by 75%, girl. Imagine that pie chart. 75%. He said culling the population for the strength of the herd. He wants to make strong soups stronger and wants to control them, of course. The weak, Cipher says, will suffer the same fate as Andre. And I'm just like, girl, get this white man out of my face. He talking about population control. Get this white man out of my face. Get this white man out of my face, girl. Okay, and the last moment here, when Marie's leaving, right? Because, yeah, my sister had a tough past 48 hours. She done found the sister that she always wanted to find. And the sister's just like, girl, I'm too traumatized to deal with any of this. Please get out my face. And so she ain't really having none of that. So she decides to leave. And Kate comes out to her and says, hey, sister, wait a minute, my good sister. Before you go, can you touch me with your healing powers? Because you a bloodbender over here. I'm going to need you to prove it. Please fix me. And if you do, I will just help you. I'll help you. I'll keep Cipher out of your head. And that does sound good, right? That does sound good, like keeping Cipher out. But Marie had the same face that I did, almost like, girl, I don't know about all that. I don't know. Fixing your powers, giving you the ability to do whatever you to tell people to do whatever you want. I don't know about all that. And she walks away. I thought that was going to be her answer, like, girl, bye. But Kate follows after her. We see at the end of the episode, it's like they've silently decided, fine, like, we'll work together. Or like, you know, Marie said, fine, we'll work together. So I really like this show so much. Obviously, because of the powers and stuff, I'm obsessed with it. But because of the writing and how strong it is, especially after having lost one of y'all main characters, your main actors, right? The writing is so strong. And like I said before, the actress who plays Annabeth, she gave me so much. They really cast her really well, especially for, like, you want Annabeth to be that traumatized, especially, not want, you know what I mean, but story-wise, like, if you're talking about Annabeth this whole time, like, when we meet her, you're gonna need to have a strong actress to, you know, display that trauma that she's been through, and they did a good job. She really did well. Cannot wait to see what happens next, especially now that Stan is here. Like, what is going on? But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next review. See ya.